Greetings, my beautiful kings and queens of you stopping by. Welcome back to my channel. This is Sis Kathy Vet coming to you with another Country Wayne skit from these Country Wayne streets. Let's get into it. Okay, fam, we gonna go into see what Anthony and Denisha are doing. This is something I had brought up before about Kai's father. And Anthony wanting to get involved, wanting to meet him so soon and all this. He's building this relationship with this woman. This is another crazy storyline. I don't know where this is going, but hey, it's entertainment, right? Now, Anthony asked Denisha about Kai's father, and I'm interested in knowing what that is about. Is he locked up? Did they get together? Was he a married man and she got pregnant by him and he went on but his business? Like, what's the situation? I like to know. And will she be honest about it? Let's get into it.
You get along with the guys now?
Not really. It's a nice work.
No, as a teenage boy, probably runs you ragged, huh?
Absolutely.
Hey, I don't mean to get all up in your business, but since
Why not?
we're here now, and
So you better get in yours and find out when you get divorced.
starting to spend time with Kai. You never talk about his dad. What's
Yeah, that's for good reasons.
Well, tell it.
There's really nothing to talk about.
Yes, it is.
He's non-existent in my book.
Why?
he's still alive though, right?
I'm not gonna say what I want to say, but
Does Kai have a relationship with him? Or?
nope. You want the full rundown?
Yeah.
If you're comfortable with time?
Yeah.
sharing it with
You
me?
need to.
If I can sum it up, I was young. It was quite eventful. I feel like he did the worst thing you could possibly do to me.
What?
Besides the beating and cheating,
Beating and cheating.
I decided to leave him when he was like 1. And he told me, well, if I can't have it all, then I don't want it at all. And we went our separate ways. And he came back around when he was about 3 and wanted to mend his relationship. And I tried to let him, but I told him if he did it again, if he disappeared, then it wouldn't be another time. And he stayed around for about a couple months and tried to pursue me again. And when I said no, he disappeared right before Christmas when he was 3. And ever since then, I stuck to my word. And there was never another time. So they don't have a relationship. And I've explained that to him over the years. That I'll just give him a little bit more as he gets older about, what happened and the inconsistencies. So I'd just rather him not be around at all if, it's going to be inconsistent because that does more damage. So that's it.
How do we feel about that? Do you think it's, even though the father doesn't come around as often, when he does want to come around, they should be allowed to see their child? Because I think the child wouldn't mind as long as they can see them, spend some time, even though it's going to be a short while. Some may feel like, why do you keep leaving? I'm not good enough. I mean, it brings a lot of different emotions and confusion to a child. So even whenever the dad wants to come around, or even the mom, to keep it fair, because there's some fathers who have custody, no matter what, if it's once a year or once every other year or only 2-3 times a year, should you still let that child see their parent? or keep them away if they can't see them on a regular basis, because it'll be more harm than good. I know when I got divorced, my ex-husband, he had moved already to Texas, and, he had remarried. And I had mentioned this a little while back, how sometimes our own fears and insecurities and hurt and pain will hold our children so close after divorce, because divorce is like a death. And it's like, being that it was long distance, for a while I wasn't letting them go spend summers or times out there with their father, because I had a fear. Was it right? No, that wasn't right. But my own fear of, I already lost a marriage. I don't want to lose my children too. What if he tries to take them? Off, I can't, get to them. What, I don't know the address. What, all these things are going through my mind. Like, I can't get to them as quick as I want to. What, will the wife treat them right or whatever? But she's a nice sister. I didn't think she would do any harm to them. But all these things go through your mind out of fear, and I did not want to let them go. And now looking back on it, I should have let them go more and not have been selfish. But it felt like my children was all I had, so I held them close. And now I see more so with my son the need to have had those shared experiences, and forget and overcome how I had felt. And it's a lot with the relationship, but still, as a dad, he could have did more, like calls. He wasn't calling and all that. So there was a lot of things that he pulled himself away as well. So if you're not building a communication with your children, then why should I let them go? So both of us played a part in that. And you can see the difference in how that is needed, and how, especially with a son, needing that father to, because I can't raise a man, I can't make a man, but you see the things that they lack and wish that they had in a relationship more, with their father, because it can be damaged. And with my daughter, it's better. She'll reach out more. She'll talk. She that's her dad, so she'll be a little bit better with the communication. She flew out there to go see him on her own now that she's older, but my son hasn't. So there's a difference. So that's why I posed that question: should you take let them have whatever time that parent can give them, or stop because you feel if it's not consistent, it's not enough? Let me know how you feel about that.
Well, he's missing out.
Hindsight is 20/20. Sometimes you see different later than you do at the present time.
He's something great.
I agree with that.
And I know that his dad's not around, and I'm not his dad, but I can still be the male figure in his life.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough, especially raising boys. It's not easy. I feel, Denisha, I've been there. Even before I got married, I had one child. When his dad wasn't there, he was running the streets. You try your best to hold on and have good, positive influences around them. Sometimes the friends out in the street pull on them even harder. I'm glad today he's turned life around, more spiritually grounded, doing good. Finally got up out the streets. He's in his 30s now, but you see, him productive, starting a business. It's, lots of prayers and lots of tears, wanting him to turn their life around, and he has. But then, it's a lot. You go through struggles still in your own unique way, and each of my children are so different. And going through a lot of different traumas throughout the years, just different struggles. We all have our different struggles, but it's something. And parenting doesn't stop. It gets harder as they get older. My mom has said that, and I get it. The little problems when they little, it's easy. It's when they get big where it gets rough. And In this storyline, though, what I'm afraid of and don't like is the fact that you're still married, Anthony, and you're putting yourself, Denisha, in a situation where what you're saying your son's father is doing, Anthony could do the same thing. Be there and then leave. Denisha, leave too. We want to be loved. We want a good man to be a good role model for our children. But, the whole time, mostly with me raising them, I stayed single. And if I dated or courted anyone, it was very few and far in between, because my focus was my children. So it wasn't being involved with anyone. I'm at the pace now where they're grown and, worked on a business, working now on my acting career, doing, my content. I'm focusing a lot more on me and, ready to have someone in my life. But there's a lot of things I think you should work on and be by yourself through things and stop, not bring any trauma or whatever from the past. And so someone can get a better version or a healthier version of you. We're still not perfect. We go through things, but you don't want what you went through from a past relationship to spill over on another unjustly. And that's why I think it's very important for people to take their time and be by themselves for a while after you get out of a relationship, because you need that time to heal. You really, really do. You don't even realize. And some things, from our childhood doesn't go away instantly, right? We still struggle. I still struggle from things from my mom now at 50-something years old to 57. I ain't ashamed to say, yes, blessed to be here. From when I was young. So it doesn't go away. You just try to learn to deal with it and have understanding from some of the traumas you face. Some things you will never understand because, a lot of times with our parents, they don't admit to things. They don't see the errors of themselves. They don't speak on it. So you have to find your own way in making peace with the traumas of your past. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to talk your ear off, but maybe there's some things you can relate to with your child. Exes, co-parenting, traumas we face from childhood up until now and dealing with it. If you care to share, do so. But it just made me reflect on so much in seeing this particular skit. This said a lot. But be careful with this, Anthony. Be careful being in this child's life and doing to him what has already been done to him. This is a very, very, this be a very damaging, sticky situation. And it's not good to get into. And Denisha, I think you need to put his, feet to the fire with this divorce. Because seriously, this all sounds all well and good, but you don't want your child hurt, and you don't want to be hurt through this, dealing with this married man. So get it together, Anthony. If you're really sincere, get it together and finalize this thing. All right, let me know what you think about this, family. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for joining me. Peace, and we out.